Hello. I have remembered to charge my camera and I've done 2 videos in a row. So I'm on the up. And I've made a dress. This is my dress. I've made it. It's great. I love it. I've got some long shots, but I'll show you those in a second because first I want to talk about this fabric because this fabric does not like to be ironed at all. So I pre-washed it, as you do, and brought it in, threw it on the ironing board, started to iron it on the hot setting on the iron because it's cotton, and noticed that this was happening towards the edges of the fabric. You can see those little holes there in the fabric. That was happening after the iron passed over. And my first thought was, oh shit, I've melted my fabric and this is synthetic. So I did a burn test where you just take a little bit of the fabric, set fire to it and see what it smells like. Do that over a sink or some water or something so that you can extinguish it quickly. Just, you know, let's not go nuts here. Burns and smells like cotton. So I went back to the website because I thought maybe it's because rayon also burns and smells like cotton. So I thought maybe it's rayon because rayon doesn't like to be pressed. And it is cotton, but it's also nylon. And the nylon, I believe, is the warp threads in this weave because, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, you can see those little tiny fluffy bits just up there. That is the warp barely existing. That almost just exists as a concept. And I think that might be the nylon, and I think that might be why this fabric doesn't like being pressed. Because even when I turned the iron right down and was using the synthetic setting, so it wasn't forming the holes anymore, but I did get some bubbling and some wrinkling and just some general distortion of the fabric. So my finish is not as polished as it could be, but if you're here for a polished finish, I think you're on the wrong channel. So you can see in a few places where that distortion has happened. Around the neckline there's been some stretching out of the fabric. There's some stretching down at the hem. But what I'm going to do is show you the long shot as I stand in a very dry garden. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to put some other clothes on because I want to show you some bits of this dress without, you know, showing you the bits of me that you don't need to see. So just, you know, enjoy this while I swap my clothes. So this is the Sydney designer dress by Style Arc, and I mentioned that specifically because the last time I made a video about this, I forgot to mention it. I forgot to mention what the pattern was. So that's what it is. I will put a link in the description. I am a size 20 in Style Arc pattern measurements, but this is a size 18 dress because it's an oversized pattern, but I didn't want it to be too oversized. And here's how it looks just hanging around, not actually on anybody. So a few things from the construction. The same problem obviously that I had with the toile, which is the facing, the neck facing is too big. It's too long, it doesn't fit. But if you double the seam allowance, it does fit. I don't know, there is a chook. Hello, I didn't make you a dress, I'm so sorry. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this dress that I made. I don't know if that's going to be applicable to every size. I find that the Style Arc Plus sizes are a little bit hit and miss with their incidental pattern pieces like facings. The other thing is the hem on the sleeve is a lot shallower than it is in the pattern. In the pattern, I think in the pattern, the hem is probably about that deep, and I wanted slightly longer sleeves, so I just gave myself slightly longer sleeves. And the pockets have been moved up. The pockets have not been very well sewn in. I'm going to be honest with you, but there's so much happening with this fabric and this dress, nobody's going to notice. And if they do notice, I'll pretend it was deliberate. So the pockets in the actual pattern, what I need is longer arms. Where's my pocket gone? I had one. I had a pocket. There it is. So the pocket is here. In the original pattern, the pocket is about here, and it's just a little bit too far down to actually put your hand in. So I would say these are actually a little bit too high up, but that's fine because it means I can do that cool bent arm thing while I look people up and down in the street. I might do that, I don't know. You can't stop me. So finally, the other construction bit is the hem. Now, I've done a double fold hem all the way around. Now the hem line on this didn't match up. I've got a photo of what I mean. And that happened when I did the toile as well. And I thought I had just made mistakes with the pattern pieces because I hadn't been paying a ton of attention because it was a toile. It wasn't like going to be a finished garment. But I spent a lot of time making sure that I had cut out the pattern pieces in the right way, facing the right way. I had right sides and wrong sides and everything, all the notches lined up, and it still didn't line up properly. So I don't know if that is user error or pattern error. It could be user error, let's be honest. So I trimmed those down and sort of gave myself a slightly wonky hem shape, and then it's just a double fold hem in there. Now, style arc, and I don't know if you can see actually, I'm going to finish that thought that I started, but give me a second, because there's another little example of the fabric not liking to be pressed. I don't know that I can find it for you, but I did get some wrinkles and distortion. So it's not a polished hem, it's fine, it's a rustic hem. It's deliberate. Now the pattern calls for a hem band, which is 2 pieces of fabric joined end to end, and then end to end, so you end up with a hoop, a loop, also a hoop. Anyway, then you fold it in half, and the instructions say, join your join your hem band pieces, fold in half, stay stitch the raw edges, and then they tell you nothing more about it. The next step in the pattern is doing the sleeve hems. And so I thought, well, there was only one way that I could get them to join in a way that meant that they would lie flat, these 2 hem band pieces. But that method also gave me a raw edge on the outside of the skirt, which I didn't want, because I like to look slightly tidy sometimes, you know. And also the hemband is too small, but that's okay, you can extend that, that's not a problem. And then I thought, well, what's a hemband going to add? And I thought, nothing. And that wasn't just me being too lazy to figure out, that was me being too lazy to figure out the hemband. And I just went with the folded hem. But to be fair, I don't think a hemband would have really added anything to this. There's so much going on with this fabric. I've had a look at the website, and they have their sample frocks look quite nice with the hemband. This is fine without. But this is my great dress. I don't know how long it's going to last, if the fabric's going to be feeble, but it's going to last long enough to enjoy it. I'm just going to hold it up so the wind can catch it, and that's very poetic. Now, I do have something else to show you that I'm a little bit excited about. So let me just show you that the fabric is fraying out of my, can you see that? It's fraying out of the seam there. I have finished that seam. That is all very secure, but it is a very falling apart sort of a fabric, so I wasn't quick enough to catch that. Anyway, I've got something to show you. I'm going to go and get it. It's over here. It didn't take me that long to get the stuff, but the weather has gone weathery, and I'm very excited because we might get rained on. It's very broody up there and quite windy, but broody over there is no good to me. I need it to rain here. Irrelevant. Look what I have. So my friends bought me, look what I have. A couple of my friends, Bronwyn and Lizzie, bought me gift cards for Changeling Coloured Yarns, and that is a friend of mine who lives just down there and does, obviously, indie yarn dyeing. And she updated her website on the weekend, so I have purchased yarn. This is Veins of Opal in the charcoal grey, and this is Veins of Opal in the light grey, and it's these stunning, I don't know that the camera's picking them up, these gorgeous deep blues and purples and turquoises. So that's some of what I bought, because I did have a bit of a splurge. And this, I've also got Gang Gang. This is Gang Gang, which is named after a cockatoo. Hello, Chook. A species of cockatoo, not just one in particular. I already have a skein of this, but I've been having trouble finding something to weave with it. So I thought if I get another one, I can use it for both warp and weft, and that will be quite an interesting effect. So it's got that beautiful red fading into pink, little tiny little hints of yellow in there, just like a Gang Gang, white and grey. And then last, but by no means least, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but it needed to come and live with me, is lorikeet, which is basically rainbow. Well, it is basically rainbow. Rainbow lorikeet is a Australian native parrot, and Melissa does theme her dyeing off nature. So I'm going to put a link in the description to Changeling Coloured Yarns, because if you're in any way into yarn arts or crafts of any description, you might want to have a look at the beautiful things that she does. So these two I'm going to weave together, possibly even going to start tonight because I miss weaving. This one is on the back burner until I've done something with these. This one I don't know, but I'm excited to have all these beautiful things. And that is all I have for you this week. So next week I don't know. I haven't got anything in progress currently. I might have something on the loom. And for now, I will say thank you very much. For now, I will fall over my face at the very last hurdle. I will say thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Have a nice rest of the week and a nice start of next week. Why not? Treat yourself. You take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.